Let's sculpt a polar bear using Crayola Model Magic. This project uses 3 ounces of white Model Magic. The 1 ounce packages are pre-portioned, or you can use a larger package and portion the material yourself. Start with just 1.5 ounces. You can do this by cutting one of the portions in half. Squish and knead the 1.5 ounces together. Pulling or stretching helps to soften and prepare the material. Then roll it into a sphere. Use a plate to keep the Model Magic from sticking to your messy mat or work surface. Roll it into a sphere that is really round and smooth with few or no creases. Use your hand to roll back and forth to alter the shape into a cylinder. Next, tap one of the ends on the work surface to flatten the bottom and prevent the Model Magic from rolling away. This piece will become the body for the polar bear. Squish and knead another 1.5 ounces of Model Magic. Somewhat flatten this piece with your fingers, almost like stretching out a piece of pizza dough. Use scissors to portion this larger piece. First, cut this piece in half. Knead 1/2 some more. Then roll that half into a thick coil. Cut that coil into 4 even pieces. Tap one end of each of the 4 pieces. These will become the polar bear's legs and paws. Grab the remaining piece. Cut a small section off. Cut an even smaller section off. Now knead and squish together the biggest remaining piece. Then roll that piece into a sphere. This will become the polar bear's head. Grab the next largest piece and knead and roll that into a sphere. This will become the polar bear's muzzle. Break the last piece into 2 equal smaller pieces. Knead each of these pieces and roll it into a sphere. These will be the polar bear's ears. The packages usually have some leftover pieces stuck in them. Take a little bit of that leftover piece from the package and roll it into another small sphere. This will become the polar bear's tail. Now we have all the parts and can put them together to make a polar bear. And while Model Magic typically sticks to itself pretty well, I do like to make my sculptures a little bit more secure by using some bracing. And I do that by using toothpicks and white glue. Start with the largest piece, or in this case, the body. Apply some glue to the top. Choose 2 toothpicks and push those into the body, leaving just a little bit sticking out at the top. Position the head onto those 2 toothpicks, gently pressing down. Be careful not to squish the very soft Model Magic. Apply some glue to the front of the head, just above where it attaches to the body. This is where the muzzle will go. Break a toothpick in half. Press half into the front of the head, leaving just a little tiny bit sticking out. Position the muzzle piece on top and gently press it into place. For the two small ear pieces, use a tool like a wooden craft stick to make some indents on what will become the front of the ears. Apply some glue where each ear will go. Then push a half toothpick into the head at each of those spots, leaving just the tiniest bit sticking out. The ears are short and you don't want the toothpicks popping out the tops. Position each ear onto each toothpick by carefully pressing down. Now, decide where you want to position the bottom legs. You're going to use your thumb and finger to slightly indent on each side where the bottom legs will be attached. Then apply glue to one side where the indent is, and then push half a toothpick into that spot, leaving just a little bit sticking out. The flattened end of each leg piece is going to be the paw. So the opposite end, the end that you didn't flatten, is the part that's going to attach to the body. Gently position that onto the toothpick and press it into place. Use your finger and thumb to smooth out where it joins onto the body. You don't want to see much of a seam there. Then remember to position the leg so that the polar bear will be able to be seated. Do the same thing on the other side for the second bottom leg. Once both bottom legs are attached, double check that the polar bear sits flat on the work surface. Now do the same thing to add the upper legs. Start by marking the placement with your thumb and finger. Then add the glue and the toothpicks, or half toothpicks, and attach the last two legs. Remember that the flat end of each leg will be the paw. The non-flattened end attaches to the body. And remember to smooth out where the legs and body join. Lastly, apply a dot of glue where the tail goes. Insert half a toothpick, leaving just the teeniest bit sticking out. Position the last piece of Model Magic onto the toothpick and press gently to attach the tail. At this point, you can either let the polar bear sculpture completely dry, which should take about 2 days or so, or you can very gently move on to the next step. Use a black permanent marker, and while gently cradling the bear in your hand, draw on the nose, mouth, and eyes. Be very careful not to press into the soft Model Magic. You don't want to leave indents. You can use the same marker to add the pads of the polar bear's paws. But again, be very gentle to not push into the soft Model Magic. If you decided to let this completely dry, you don't have to worry about pushing into it and can just draw on it directly.